Donnie B got to be.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to another edition of The Beat. I am pleasured to be here for the second episode of season 6. I guarantee you this interview is going to be extremely dope. We'll get to that in a second. Without further ado, those that watch the show know what time it is. It's time for the glorious intro, so let's go. So those that know that Donnie B got the beats, loves him some hip hop. I mean, even since I was a whippersnapper up until a grown adult, I have nothing but respect for and love from, not just for the music, but the culture to which it was founded on. Everything about it, I love and adore. So without further ado, I have, I'm kind of fanboying right quick. I have somebody that's essential to the culture of hip hop. And I mean that tremendously, and it's ridiculous that I'm even sitting with this man to be able to share his story with my people. But without further ado, we're gonna bring in the legendary Godfather, West Coast hip hop himself, also the leader of the World Class Wreckin Cru, Lonzo Williams. How you doing, Lonzo?
I'm hanging out, Donnie B. How you feeling, Doc?
Hey man, I'm just elated to have you on, brother. I'm a squirrel in your world, man.
Much love, appreciate it.
Indeed. So, how I do with this thing, I go straight to it. Just keep things fluid. But we're gonna get started on this thing with the most essential question is, who is Lonzo Williams? For those that are not familiar with you,
Lonzo, that man's been behind the scenes of almost everything West Coast hip hop. I'm most popularly known for discovering Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, putting Eazy-E with Jerry Heller. But I think my biggest claim to fame was my platform that allowed West Coast hip hop to flourish. If you saw the 2022 Super Bowl where Dr. Dre and Snoop and Eminem and Kendrick were all doing their thing on those various platforms, that stage that Dr. Dre stood on, the Eve After Dark, I owned the Eve After Dark. I was the owner. That's why I met Dre at. That's where we reconnected at. If you saw Straight Outta Compton, I'm the one that ran Dudos. And also in Straight Outta Compton, I'm the one that opened up and ran Skateland for years prior to going on tour with World Class Wreckin Cru. I own Crew Cut Records. I'm the one that taught folks how to be independent record owners. Okay, there was nobody doing that before I did it. I formed Crew Cut Records. Easy watching me. He formed Ruthless. I was his consultant. The DOC came was introduced to Dr. Dre through one of the DJs from Eve After Dark, Dr. Rock, and it's just been a network of introductions, venues, connections, all that's earned me the title of Godfather of West Coast hip hop. I'm a DJ first and foremost. Before most guys, before they even had 1,200 turntables, I was playing music. I was a DJ out in the streets of Compton, LA, Long Beach. I started DJing at the age of 19 years old, fresh out of high school. Got a broadcast license, was trained to be a radio DJ. By that time, disco was jumping off. It was time for me to do something else. And we started making money in giving dances. And that's how I got into the club and promotion business. And 3 years after I started DJing, at the age of 22, I owned my own nightclub. So I was a DJ with a residency at his own nightclub. That's some historical shit. I didn't even realize that until later on, until somebody told me. Nigga, you probably was the first DJ that ever owned his own club and had a residency at his own club. I'm a bad motherfucker. So anyway, it's when you're doing things, man, at a young age, you're not doing it to make history. You're just doing it because that's what you got to do to make it happen. Right. And I've always been one of those kind of cats that whatever got to be done, don't tell me we can't do it. I'm gonna show you how we can. And because of that, I was able to accomplish a lot of different things, all while DJing, all while later on forming my own record company and started booking concerts with Curtis Blow, Run DMC. I mean, Run DMC, first time I booked them for LA, they cost me $500 and a couple of 3 plane tickets. So that's how deep I go. Curtis Blow cost me more money than Run DMC did. Me and Russell would talk on the phone on a regular basis, just trying to get East Coast acts out to the West Coast. So I had the only established venue. There was other promoters, but I'm the only one that knew. I had a calendar. I mean, I was there every week. Everybody else had to try and book a date, try to make something happen on that date, to coordinate with a date. No. Eve After Dark was there every Friday and Saturday night. So all you gotta do is call me up, and if I wanted you on the stage, I put you on. And all that was motivation forming my own group, World Class Wreckin Cru. So it's a lot of history, folks. It's a lot of history that people don't know. And even the people who benefited most from the history don't know the history. And that's why I do all the podcasts I can to try and share my story.
And it's a hell of a story, man. I mean, really, it's very under executed by way of people talking about the actual true essential story. And it's funny because I'm from the East Coast originally, so I can tell you a lot about East Coast hip hop, right? Well, and it always goes back to the beginnings of hip hop, as they say, but it's always looked back over there. But as soon as I touched down here and understood just how influential the scene was for just literally everything moving, it's crazy to know that you're the pioneer behind all of that stuff, all of those peripheral moving parts and things of that nature. It's just amazing, Now looking back on it, how do you feel about all that's been done, that's been stood up, and just looking back at the kingdom that you kind of stood up? How does that make you feel?
All my guys, my generation of fellas, man, I'm proud of these guys to the utmost, because most people that know the story know that it probably wouldn't happen. And I hate, I consider myself a humble person, but I hate to say if it wasn't for me, it wouldn't happen. And that seems kind of cocky in some aspects. It may not have happened. When it happened, it could have happened, but it might not have happened. I don't know. Bottom line is, I'm very proud of all the fellas that come under my umbrella, come under my tree. It's just that when I look back and I see people who have done the same thing on the East Coast, they're treated a lot different than they are here on the West Coast. I mean, I was watching a partner of mine was watching a Christie's auction for Cool Herc's memorabilia. And man, that dude made almost $2 million in the afternoon. Okay. I watched it. I mean, I literally watched him sell one of his sound systems for $250,000. And I'm like, damn, that's amazing. And, people here on the West Coast are still trying to figure out, still calling me up, trying to figure things out, what happened. And it's just not starting to dawn on them that most of the stuff that happened here on the West Coast goes back to Lonzo or my counterpart, Roger Clayton, who passed back in 2010. So, I'm not disappointed. God's given me the strength and the knowledge, and I still got all my brain cells. So I'm going to tell the story as many times as possible. And I'm going to keep on doing these shows to make sure that when I'm out of here, that my legacy will be well documented.
Amen. Amen. And that's what we do it for. So people get the real truth from the people that's actually doing it. You know what I mean? And have done it. So definitely understand and appreciate just for having you on this space. I want to take the opportunity to even go a little bit further back. Well, the next question is, growing up in, could you let everybody know where you're from? What was it like for you growing up at that time to become the success that you are, today, even going through all?
I was born in Compton, moved just outside of Compton at about 5 years old. But everything I did, going to school, paid bills, was all done in Compton. Compton was the a booming metropolitan back in the day. I mean, white folks had just moved out, brothers had just moved in. Most of the brothers that moved into Compton had good jobs at the shipyard or General Motors or good. That's when the state and the county was hiring brothers left and right. So you had a good government job with benefits. You could buy a house for $15,000-$16,000 or less. And, grow your family. The wife could stay home. Daddy, all you need is daddy go to work. Okay, drive a Deuce and a quarter, a nice Cadillac. Okay, I mean these things. This is where I grew up. This is where the era I came up in. And I got older. I would walk. I went to Catholic school in Compton, and I would look forward to getting punished sometime so I could walk home. My mama kind of kept me sheltered a little bit because shit was, they had our bullies back then, but we didn't have nobody come up dead, for the most part. And I would get in trouble sometime just so I could walk home, which means I could stop by the dairy, get me some zingers, 15 cent, soda for a dime, bag of potato chips for another nickel or so, walk my ass home and just kick it, and that was my kind of freedom. Right. Now I wouldn't dare send a kid walking down the street. So it's a whole different world, man. And I talk about this almost like it was a euphoric place because it was to a certain degree. For us, because going to Compton was a big deal. Going to McDonald's was a big deal, man. My mama, you seen Eddie Murphy's Raw? Yeah. McDonald's, I'll make you a hamburger, and the bread all stuck together, and the aluminum foil. Oh man, it was a mess. But it was a different era, dude, and to see it be rebranded and remarketed to the world as being a hellhole. Yeah, we got our bad spots. We've had our bad spots for years, but a lot of that was stuff that was, I'm gonna say, brought in from the outside to make the city look a lot worse than what it is.
That's interesting. I love that point. Hopefully we get to circle back at that a little bit later on. But thank you for sharing. I want to ask the next question is, who and or what were your inspirations through all of this? I mean, what got you out of bed to keep putting one foot in front of the other and build on all of these building blocks, and now we reveal them? It's like a huge kingdom of accomplishments.
My motivation was my number one fan, Doc. That was my dad. Okay. My dad was from Mississippi. He was a hustler. He cut lines. He had a job. He cut lines. He did sprinklers. We did all kinds of cut trees, whatever. He was a hustler. And he also booked horses, but he never let his horse booking affect his family. Okay. He said a man got to have a good job and a good hustle. Okay. And your hustle can affect your family in a positive way, but it can never affect your family in a negative way, which means you out there playing horses so bad, the lights is off. Oh, hell no. Mm-hmm. So he taught me that. He showed me how to make money. He showed me a lot of stuff. And in fact, when it came to getting my club, the Eve After Dark, it wasn't even my idea. It was kind of his idea. He came home. My mother had passed. My mother died when I was 19. So I moved into her house that they jointly owned. They had separated. So he had a house and she had a house. So I moved into her house. And one Saturday afternoon, he came by the house and saw me with a pile of money. I tell the story in my book, NWA, now with Alonzo, available on Amazon. And he called me with a bunch of money. And back then, a bunch of money was like $600. Okay. I just did a dance at this place called Alpine Village. And he just knew I was selling dope. Because everybody in my neighborhood sold dope. And I didn't. I never sold dope. To this day, I don't sell dope. I never have. I'm just saying, I never have. He just was pissed. Thought I went to the dark side to sell dope. He was going to fuck me up. Nah, I said, Pops, please, hold on, man. Hold on. I ain't selling no dope. I'm doing this over here. Come check me out. I'm doing another one in 2 weeks. And he did. And when he saw what was happening, he got involved. He said, man, how much you paying? How much you charging? What, blah, blah, blah. He wanted to know all the business aspects of it. And I told him, he said, well, man, shit. Hold on. You doing that one night a week? You paying that much for one night? Let me see what I can do. We called his buddy up who had a club. I'm trying to get out of this light. He called a buddy up. A buddy of his who had just built the second floor over his club. It was a banquet hall, and we sat down and had a meeting. Now I've been knowing this man all my life. We grew up in the same neighborhood on the same block, but he was a grown man. He was an adult, and I knew him as Mr. Jeffy, and that's all I knew was Mr. Jeffy. And him and my daddy was boys. They drank together. He had a club, so they drank together and did all their dirt together. You know, had all kinds of stories and shit. So he takes me up there to meet with him, and the old man said, "I tell you what, I give you a shot, but you can't do it just once a month. You got to do it every week." I said, "Huh? Every week, okay? And I'm only going to charge you this amount of money per night." Now, what he was charging me for the weekend was less than I was paying for one night at Alpine Village. So I got two chances to make my money back, but I ain't had no money to invest. Well, I did have a little bit, not a whole lot. So I went to a friend of mine, and she says, "I got you." And we started making it happen. We started grinding and popping. And next thing I know, man, after about 5 or 6 months, we had the #1 club in the city. And it changed the city, changed my life, it changed everybody's life. But my dad was the reason why, because I never saw myself being that. I never saw myself doing that. I mean, how many people even thought about owning the club at 22 years old? Yeah. My dad saw something in me that I didn't see. I didn't see for myself. And he, kind of kicked me into but he had done it before, though. He had done it before. When I was starting to DJ, I wanted to buy me a little pickup truck like everybody else had, the little pickup trucks. He said, "No, man, you need a van." "I ain't got no money for no van." He said, "You need a van." And he found me a van and said, "I co-signed for you." And he co-signed for me a van, and I had to pay the note, but he co-signed for me. So I had a van, which was the best thing I ever did. And, as a mobile DJ, because I couldn't carry no equipment in no pickup truck, I was trying to be cool like everybody else. So, having somebody around you, man, that had that foresight, that was able to put you in position. But like he told me back then, "I can get you in, but I can't keep you in." And I left the Eve After Dark after 40 years in 2019, Doc. So I stayed for a while because I just got tired of staying up all night.
And that's an amazing story, man. And I mean, being a black dad, we need more stories like that, to be told.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Seriously. I want to ask you, we're switching gears, and this is a kind of a tongue-in-cheek question to the godfather of hip hop.
West Coast. I can't take nothing but West Coast.
I got you.
Always specify that. Okay, let's do it.
So with that being said, to you, and coming from the horse's mouth, what I'm saying, proverbially, what is West Coast hip hop?
West Coast hip hop is an amalgamation, man, of various styles that reflect the temperature of the community at any given time. When we first started doing it, we started doing hip hop. Everybody was a dance promoter. Dancing was the shit. That's what we did. That was our fundraiser at our schools. That was that's how we made our money and early in DJs. And as a DJ, everybody gave parties. I stayed busy. And at some point in time, when the drugs came into play. Now we always had gangs. Then initially gang was like maybe 10% of the overall population. And everybody else just wanted to have a party. Just like in the movie House Party. The first one, all you saw was 3 gangsters in the whole damn movie. Everybody else was getting their party on. It was all about a big party. Right. And then at some point in time, you got the streets turned into Boys in the Hood, where everybody was a gangster, and you only had 2 or 3 guys that was not gangsters. Right. And that's West Coast hip hop in a nutshell. We started off being House Party, moved into being Boys in the Hood, and later on now we just shy rap. We just shy now, shit.
Indeed. Well, thank you. I mean, it means a lot. And again, like I said, being a big fan of hip hop overall and being bi-coastal, I can't tell you just how impressive a resume you laid. You know what I mean? And see it all work and see the foundations of it. Now, what would you have to say? And this is an off-script question, but what would you have to say to some of the young people that may not understand the dedication, I would say, to the culture. Like what this whole thing was founded on, they seem to just not really quite grasp it. Because we know that they're there, they exist. You know what I mean? But what would you say if you had the chance?
Man, the problem with most of our young generations, they want instant gratification. And music is not an instant gratification business. It's become one, but before it became what it is right now, it was something you had to learn. You had to learn how to sing. You had to learn how to play an instrument. You had to learn how to dance. Now you don't have to do that no more. You can come up with something silly, something clever, something tricky, do something real fancy, real fast, go viral, make a whole lot of money real quick. So the development of the art is not there anymore. I mean, even as a DJ, you know, shit, man, it takes you a while to be a good DJ. But when you got buttons that you can push to, you know, do the looping for you, and you know, all you gotta do is move the record around, and you know, you ain't never put no real work into it. I mean, even when I was coming up as a DJ, you know, I tell people right now to do a DJ gig, it was like moving a 1-bedroom apartment 4 times in one night. Now cats do a whole set with a backpack. So you don't appreciate the work that went into the art. You know, you don't. Most youngsters, they came in, no disrespect to the technology, on a shortcut. You know, even when I was in school, we had calculators, but we couldn't use them. We had to learn how to do long division in your head, multiplication in your head, before you could use a calculator. They wanted to make damn sure you understood what was what. Now they don't care about that no more. I don't care if you know it not. Just, you know, without technology, we become so technologically dependent. It takes away from the real art, and that's the thing. That's the one thing I see when it comes to even to the vocals, the music. They're very technically dependent, and you don't know who the real bad motherfuckers are, because you know they bad on them controllers, but take them away from a controller, give them a 1200s, and they don't know what to do, and that makes a big difference, Doc. That makes a big difference.
Yeah. I've since I moved out here, I've acquired a number of shall I say, legendary DJs that, you know, they're not on really controllers. They're not USB DJs, you know what I mean? And I gotta say that is definitely what I hear the most, you know. But great insight. Seriously. You mentioned in during some of your times and some of your discussions about your journey, the hardships of being a club owner. For those that really don't get it, or maybe they're overzealous and maybe they do get it and that's a dream, but haven't achieved it yet, what would you share about your time and your journey of being a club owner? Because again, like you say, you were one of the first to do it. What are your thoughts?
You know what, man, when I first opened my club up in 1979, 22 years old, I was probably the average customer of the eve after dark might have been 17, 18. Okay. We opened at 10. We didn't close until 4. Sometimes we stayed open to 5. We had a unique situation. After 2 o'clock, the crowd would shift to adults, because all the bars were closed, and they come to it for the after hours. Mm-hmm. We had issues like any other business. You know, we had to throw people out, and every once in a while somebody get caught dancing with the wrong person. We had to, you know, break them up or whatever the case may be. But everybody always went home. Nobody left in a body bag. Nobody left in the ambulance. You know, shooting was not the way we resolved our issues. People got shot, not even after dark though. Okay. But as time has progressed and we got more into the boys in the hood way of life versus the house party, because the motivation for partying has changed now. It's not even about a party, not about a dance. It's not about, you know, about having fun. Think about this for a minute, man. What's if they just dance right now? You go to a party, what dance you gonna do? The huckabuck? I mean, what the fuck? You know, they don't have Soul Train no more. If you don't see nobody making no new moves, ain't no more Soul Train. That's where we got our moves from. That's where we got our fashion from. That's where we got our music from. or Soul Train. YouTube don't provide you with that kind of content. Okay, you might get a little TikTok dance, but you actually gonna ask somebody to walk up and do some TikTok shit? No, probably not. Even the interaction between the boys and the guys and the girls, it's gotten so sterile till it's ridiculous, and it makes it difficult to even meet somebody, and you don't know, the slightest word can get you canceled. So when I see how things have changed so much, I was asked a couple of times after the Eve After Dark was on the Super Bowl, and the building still stands. The old man that owned the building died, but his son runs it, and I was asked would I open the Eve After Dark back up again. I told him absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because the youngsters of today don't appreciate the effort it takes to own a business. They don't appreciate what it takes to have something in our community. They think that all their bullshit should be public bullshit, which means that whoever owns that business becomes responsible and involved in your bullshit. When somebody gets, man, I'm gonna peep this damn thing. Okay, if somebody gets shot in your parking lot, you just got a case. You are in trouble. Somebody dies in your club, whether your security guard shot them or not, your club is going to be affected. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, and I had some of these same issues back in Eve After Dark. Kids would have a problem at school, and it's going down at Eve After Dark. Why you gonna bring your shit to me? But I've also had situations where somebody who didn't know anybody at another one of my clubs, I've owned 6 clubs, one of my clubs, somebody got shot and killed. And it ruined my business. It damn near ruined my life. And this is one of the problems that youngsters don't understand. I saw Killer Mike in Atlanta a few weeks ago trying to save clubs in Atlanta, okay? Well, you know what? Owning a business like a nightclub, a bowling alley, skating ring, all those things come with a thing called a conditional use permit. And that means you are allowed to do business under certain conditions. Conditional use permit. And when your patrons or the people that hang around your venue violate those conditions, you're finna be out of business. And you can spend millions of dollars to make a club beautiful, have a bomb-ass sound system, the best liquor, the best people come through, and some asshole with a gun can shut all that down and get you a lawsuit. And then here's the cold part about it. Nobody will never tell you what happened so they can be dealt with. So you got this no snitching thing. You got all kinds of these street rules. And when people want to do donuts at the parking lot, a lot of clubs are right next to residential areas. Nobody wants to hear nobody doing goddamn donuts at 3 o'clock in the morning. When you start having problems, start having fights, shootings, there's a secret hand that goes under the hand of every business. It's called the insurance companies.
Hey.
It's called the insurance company. Ask me how the fuck I know, okay? Insurance companies say, your ass is a high risk. We ain't messing with you no more. The city say, you have too many issues at your venue. You can't control your clientele. We ain't messing with you no more. Now skating rinks become Home Depots, Walmarts. Okay? I'm in a documentary called United Skates on HBO, and they talk about this same situation, how so many skating rinks get shut down because it ain't the skaters, it's the niggas in the parking lot. They can't even stand up on a pair of skates, but they come to check out the girls. They see some other guy from across town who just want to get his roll on. Next thing you know, it's a problem. The police get called. Every time that the police get called to a situation, they got to do what they call the incident report. And the incident report is like your credit rating for businesses. When your credit rating get too bad, you can't be in business no more. And this, I've seen it happen to Hollywood clubs. So these are the kind of things that this new generation don't understand. You got LED lights, you got all the stuff, you got the best sounds. You could be a star overnight, but you can't put a couple of hundred cats in a building without them acting a goddamn fool. And that's the problem. That's a we problem. That ain't a them problem. That's a we problem. And being that I'm from that era, I've ran every kind of club known to man, including strip clubs. I ran strip clubs, male and female exotic. Okay, I'm probably the Godfather of male exotic because I brought that shit to the west side, east side, when nobody else was taking their drawers off and shaking their nuts. Okay, so when it comes to running clubs, I run teen clubs, strip clubs, male and female strip clubs, adult clubs, after hours. I've done it all. So, but if you don't do it with a certain kind of decorum, you're gonna be shut down. And brothers don't understand that. You want to pull up with your loud ass speakers, neighbors trying to go to sleep. It's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock at night. I don't want anybody want to hear that shit. Right. Burning rubber, folks loud. They want to shoot. They want to play their music loud. All that right there is a problem for the club owner. You think you out there trying to floss and make something happen, but it's a problem for the club owner. And eventually, the citizens, when y'all at home sleep, they go into the city council meetings and complain about the club. And at some point in time, them voters gonna have an impact that the partiers don't have, because the partying people ain't going to city council meetings, but the homeowners are. The homeowners they're gonna complain. They're going out to the police department. They're gonna complain. And if you don't do what I want to do, shut that club down, damn it. You won't be in office next time around. And these are the political games that you have to understand you're dealing with when you come in the nightclubs, come to the entertainment business. Okay, the club owner could have all the friends in the world in City Hall, but all them friends would turn their backs on him if the citizens, the voters, say we don't want this club no more.
Whew. I think for anybody that don't know, now they know, and they really need to understand exactly everything that you said. I mean, and I think a basic true entrepreneur definitely will understand the importance of everything that you just said, just because it's a necessity in order to, like you said, in order to keep the funds generated, you got to make sure that everybody acts accordingly. And then there's people who come in with the shine and the gloss or whatever you want to call it from where you're from. And yeah, I'm gonna
tell you a quick secret.
Sure.
At my club, we had the biggest problem with parking lot pimping. Oh man, it was because I run a male exotic club, and for a while, when the guys came out, the girls be out there on them. The girls in the parking lot trying to see what them nuts be like. Okay, they checking for nuts, right? And I would be so glad when it would rain sometime, man. I would be so glad, because them weaves don't fare well in the rain, Doc. And they get the fuck up out of there. The weaves and open-toe shoes do not fare well in the rain, Doc. I'd be so glad to see them just a little lightweight drizzle. Lightweight drizzle come down and everybody gone. 5 minutes after the club gone, everybody grabbing their purses on their heads. They run out the club, getting their cars and leaving. And usually them be some of the best nights, man. But in Southern California, like my boy Tony say, it don't rain that much in Southern California. Okay. Mm. So, but yeah, man, that's some real talk.
I appreciate it, man. And I thank you for sharing. I definitely do. I want to pivot really quick, but before I pivot, I have one last question. What are you currently working on that you care to share? Is there anything that you got in the chamber that's loaded up? That
speaking of chamber, I thought you said use the word chamber. That's interesting. That's interesting to use that word chamber. I am the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. One of the big things I'm working on right now is I'm also a member of a historical society called the Compton 125 Historical Society, and they do a great job in preserving the history of Compton. Now, most people don't know that Compton has a super rich history. Yeah, we got Dre, Easy, Venus, Serena, Kendrick, blah, blah, blah. But it was way before that. Way before that. So right now I'm working on the Walk of Fame in the city of Compton. I have a documentary for the Eve After Dark, what you see in the Super Bowl. People want to know, what's the Eve After Dark? Why? What's up with that? So I took time out, one of my videographer buddies, but my video directing buddies, we have a documentary that's almost finished on Eve After Dark. There's 2 documentaries being done on me as we speak. One is almost finished. One, I'll be in a series called You Can't Erase Me, done by Real Song Entertainment. And it just shows all the people from the East Coast that laid the tracks that nobody don't know anything about, and also the West Coast where people forgot about. So I got my hands in a whole lot of stuff, Doc. Don't do nightclubs no more. My podcast. I do a podcast on Tuesdays at 6:00 called NWA Stories with Lonzo, where I'm doing almost like I'm doing right now with my boy Dusty. Then also my boy Dr. Dre from UMTV Raps. We do one on Thursdays called Legendary Connects. And Dr. Dre and I discuss hip hop and political issues from the East Coast and the West Coast perspective from two old school cats, man, that's been in this game for 30 years plus. So you can get some real game. And what I'm realizing, man, what I've realized over the years is a lot of people are making silly mistakes because nobody ever told us, man, you can't do that, dude. You think because you didn't get your ass whooped back in the day that you can do anything you want to? It don't work like that, okay? So you got guys that can't wait to get shot, go to jail, get somebody pregnant, whatever the case may be, not understanding the consequences that come behind that, man. So we drop some game on them. If they want to listen, I got a nice little following that likes to listen. They look forward to the insight. And that's my claim to fame, man. I'm not trying to be a rapper. I'm still DJ from time to time, old school sets. But if I can't disseminate my wisdom, I don't really want to be bothered with it.
I get it, and I love it because it's funny. I had a couple guests on previously, and we said this specifically. The age, the young people today, there's no true griots like we had back in the day. Back in the day we had pioneers, we had people that were out there and you knew and believed that they was doing it for the culture. They were speaking to us as people. You know what I mean? And now it's just very few and very far between, or maybe it's just because there's so much white noise from social media that it's hard to get to what, like the stuff.
You want to know what it is? I'm going to tell you what it is. In 1979, 1980, Eve After Dark was making me a shitload of money. Okay? But no matter how much money I made, the old man, Jeffy, and my dad didn't give a damn how much money I made. I still was his son and his tenant. Okay? This is shit you got to abide by. I don't care how much money you make. This is how I got to go down. Okay? This is how it's going to go down. And nowadays, people want to get put on at all costs. So if they attach themselves to a person that's popular, famous, rapper, R&B singer like R. Kelly, they will forego what they believe is right, what they know is right, to be a part of his circle. They'll bring their nieces, aunties, daughters, in some cases, just to be around certain people, to get some tickets, but whatever the case may be, man. So we have allowed ourselves, some people have allowed themselves to be influenced by other people's money in hopes of getting some of it, okay? As opposed to, hey, man, looking out for this person's better interest. Perfect example, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson didn't have none of his family members around him in his last few years, okay? They said they hadn't talked to him in God knows how long. His real family members, Catherine, Joe, Tito, Jermaine, anybody. And I'm quite sure if they were around him after them cases, they'd have told him, Mike, get them kids out of here, man. Leave that propofol alone, man. You can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But when you got people around you, Conrad Murray was getting $100,000 a year. Was it $100,000 a year, $100,000 a month, whatever it was, to make sure Mike woke up when he did that shit. Except for one day when he fucked around and got on the phone. So some people that love you for you will not let you forego what's best for you. Some people don't care about you. All they care about is the money that you can give to them. So that makes a big difference long term, man. And that's what people have to understand. Right now, we're in an age where it's all about the money. Everybody cares about getting paid so much. They don't care what you do. They'll let you do whatever it's going to do to get them. If letting you eat shit, it's going to get them paid. They'll give you a whole Skippy's jar full of that shit. And that's the attitude, man. They don't care. Alonzo just get paid. And, people do it to themselves. So I'm gonna finish like a real old man. Now people do it to themselves. They'll sell themselves out just to get a couple dollars, and they get mad when they can't get the job they want later on. Well, your fans only page told us that your only fan page said you was about this right here. We can't have you representing us like this right here. We can't do that. I saw a sister the other day. We talked about it on my podcast. She took a picture of her ass, and my old man, she something like her, my old man be getting on his ass or something like that, and she lost a lot of damn support or sponsors because of that one picture and that statement. But you just can't do whatever you want to do and get somebody else's money. It don't work like that. Right. And that's the part this internet hasn't shown people yet. And the internet didn't come with no instructions, so people think they can do anything at any time and still supposed to be okay with it. And that ain't how corporate America works.
Well, I'm glad you say that, because that brings that shifts the precedent to something that's just out of the scope of being relevant. But like there's certain rush of people hitting the stage and tackling or hitting or hurting the personalities that's working. Whether or not it's the Will Smith situation or the situation with Dave Chappelle. Like, what is your thoughts on that? Because you spoke and it kind of seemed like it overlapped that same scenario, but isn't that just ludicrous to you, or like, are you familiar or used to that?
That's the most asinine thing in the world, man. Again, people doing things to get recognition. When it comes to Will Smith, I had just finished listening to Will's audiobook the day before the slap. The day before the slap, I just finished the audiobook. 15 hours of Will Smith pouring his heart out to the world. And if you haven't heard it, I'm going to say get it, because you'll understand him a whole lot better why he did what he did. Will Smith always saw himself as a coward. And he said that first thing he said, the first 10 minutes of his book, I've always seen myself as a coward. Mm-hmm. And I guess he felt that was something that by Chris Rock clowning this woman, and Jada already got him by the, she got him all messed up in the head because according to her daughter, she wished Tupac was a daddy, all kind of crazy ass shit. So, he had to go out, he had to prove himself to the world, and he was wrong. You don't get no points for slapping Chris Rock. Slapping Chris Rock was like fighting a midget. You ain't gonna win that fight. But first of all, if you slap the midget, oh man, that's messed up. You slapped the midget. If the midget whoop your ass, man, you got your ass whooped by a midget. You can't win that fight. Same thing with a woman. Oh man, that woman whooped your ass. Oh man, you slapped a woman. You can't win that fight. Chris Rock's 150 pounds if he put rocks in his pocket. Will Smith is 6'2", always been a big dude. Okay, you don't get no street cred for that. Okay, you don't get nothing but conversation. And sometimes conversation, what they say, ain't no such thing as bad publicity. Hey man, and that could be what we're dealing with to a certain degree. That Dave Chappelle shit, he learned the hard way. He learned what's gonna really happen when you run up on the wrong person at the right time. Okay, they beat his ass. Okay, they broke his arm. They talk the DA talking about it might have been excessive. No, man. I hate to sound like a crazy dude. I ain't no gangster, but a good ass whooping stop a whole lot of shit. Okay, a good ass whooping will deter a whole lot of shit. Okay, it'll stop a lot of these kids running up in these grocery stores too. You had to whoop some ass back in the day, but that's another subject.
Yeah. It's like you said, like one of the great said back in the day, Mike Tyson, he said, everybody got a good plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah, everybody got a plan to get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's funny to me because I tell my missus all the time, like I'm from the East Coast, she's born and raised out here, and I'm like, a lot of stuff where I'm from would not fly. Like it just would not fly. Not saying anybody punks over here, not saying anybody tough over there, but it's just where are you? What's your presence of mind? Like, what's your presence of mind to be able to understand everything that's going around you? What make you think you can run up on stage and just, like you said, I'm gonna just go get Dave Chappelle. Or then you get these people that's like at basketball games, and then they had that rash of people that's trying to glue themselves to the floor or whatever because they wanted to stop this, whatever the owner is doing for the Timberwolves or whatever. But it's just, where are you? What's your mindset to think that that's cool and you can get away with that? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, you know what, man? I grew up in a different era, dude. My era, when I went to school, I went to Catholic school, they beat our ass as a part of the curriculum, okay? Good. And I went to junior high school. And if you messed up in junior high school, you had to go see Mr. Crow, the vice principal, and you had to take 10 to the ass with a paddle, custom-made paddle out of a boat paddle, big, a sawed-off boat paddle, okay? Sawed-off boat paddle, okay? And if you popped up, you got an extra one. You got 2 for every one you popped up on. So, but my daughter, she's a behavioral specialist, okay? And I was laughing at her the day. Her job is to go around different schools and deal with kids with having problems. I said, back in the day, you'd have been the vice principal, okay? But the vice principal, they took the vice principal's job, the paddle out of the vice principal's hand, and now they gave it to somebody, I guess a social director or whatever, to talk to them and try to get them to understand. But I tell you what, like they always, like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan till you bust them in the mouth. Everybody's bad. Everybody a gangster till you put that billy club on their ass. Okay, and I mean, here we are, man. We in the situation where police are doing more ass whooping than anything, but mom and dad can't do nothing. So you think you didn't talk to your mom and dad this way for 18 years because mama's scared to say something to you or scared to whoop you. You try the same shit with the police and it don't work.
Exactly.
It don't work. Okay, then you got the asshole cops that make sure it don't work. So you put people in a situation where they can't win. They never learned how to be respectful to people, man. We in an era that respect is demanded by everybody, but given by few. And that's crazy, dude. Everybody wants to respect, but the first thing you do when you get mad at somebody is disrespect them. And you wonder why so many guys are getting killed. You out there pissing on people's graves. You clowning people after they got killed. You can't wait till the family stop grieving. You're talking about how fucked up it, how you did this and did that. Now somebody that really got pissed off, they looking for you now. That has got to be the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my life, man. Somebody actually on stage or on social media happy about somebody getting killed. Nobody's ever done that before, man.
Yeah.
That's never been done before, dude. Or at somebody's gravesite doing some destructive shit. Or go to a funeral and shoot the funeral, man, because you just mad because he got homies. I saw a situation last week where a dude's mama was at the gravesite. He already got killed, and one of the ops killed the mama. What's wrong? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that ain't how it's supposed to go, man. Ain't how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And it's funny. I look back to conversations what my grandmother had when I was like knee high. And she used to always say, "I weep for your generation." I used to always just be like, "I don't even understand what that means." You know what I mean? And I'm old enough now to understand exactly what the hell she meant. And it's just like, wow,
But here's the one problem, Doc. A lot of folks ain't had them grandmamas like you had, man. They had daddies like me. They dropped that wisdom. That shit's like it's like a time delayed wisdom. It's like, damn. Oh, she told it to you first. You didn't get it.
Right.
You didn't get it. But now that you're a grown ass man, like click, click, click. Oh, that's what Granny was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like you said. It's a gift that keeps giving. You know what I mean?
It's a gift that keeps giving. That's a good way to put it, Doc.
Yeah, I mean that's something I try to kick it to my kids. Hey, look, you need to understand that the world does not care about you, and so you have to make sure that you understand that when you move in your endeavors. And
right.
That's that, man. I appreciate it. Now we wrapping up in the next 5 to 10 minutes, but I definitely wanted to get back to celebrate you and the things that you have done. Again, anybody who's on, feel free while we have them. Feel free to reach out. Let them know you're here, chat in the comments, so forth and so on. But I definitely want to ask you this question: with all that you've said and all that you've done in the industry, I know that you would know this answer. What is one big myth about, it says the music industry, but you've experienced so much just beyond the music industry. So I'm gonna open this up to the entertainment industry. What is one big myth about the entertainment industry that you either want to call out or dispel, or however you feel about that question?
A myth I want to dispel that is always glitz and glamour. Glitz and glamour is a small part of it. That's all you see for the most part is glitz and glamour. You see all the champagne, you see all the cars, you see all the pretty girls. That shit is all for rent. That shit's for lease. That shit's for hire. Real life is you go home to a regular house in most cases. Most of the cats you think got a bunch of money ain't got the money they think they do. They want you to think they have. Man, the whole industry is focused on selling you a fantasy. It sells you a fantasy that people try to achieve with regular means, and then some people try to achieve it through illegal means, only to get caught up in a way that you never thought you'd be caught up. You can't live these lifestyles, man. I watch TV all the time, man. I like watching Raising Cain.
Yeah.
And I look at his mama, she drives the Range Rover. She's a super bitch, okay? You just can't kill somebody and just walk away like that, man. They ain't never showed the police doing an investigation. Yeah. They just shut people up. You don't just do no shit like that. Yeah. Okay, they kill people and nobody even tripping. Come on, man. I used to watch Sons of Anarchy, and they just roll through an area and just start shooting, bullets flying everywhere. You ain't never seen the police do an investigation. Okay? They sell you this shit like shooting somebody ain't no big, man. Shooting somebody is a major fucking deal. Right. It's a major deal. Okay, it's a major situation for the police department, the DA. When you pull a gun on somebody, if you have a gun in the vicinity of a disturbance, it changes the whole level of how the police come at your ass. Yep. Okay? Yeah. They make you think that having a gun ain't no big deal, man. Especially on these videos and the music. I shot this, I did this. Nah, man. No. I think the violence. I think the violence that is portrayed in our current state of music is probably a myth that's getting a lot of people caught up, because by the time they realize they done did something stupid that done changed their life forever, dude, it's too late. They trying to negotiate how much time you gonna get. Yeah, they negotiating on your release date. Okay, and you think because you did some shit that was hood approved, that is state approved. Hood approved and state approved is two different situations. Okay? What the hood say is cool ain't got shit to do with the state. Okay? And when you may have some hood respect, meanwhile, your ass got an orange suit and some flip-flops. Okay? You finna get some orange suit and some flip-flops on some bullshit, and then you gonna realize the hood shit don't mean nothing up in there. It has very little effect. Now you gotta learn a whole new system. Now you gotta learn the jail system. And this hood system, jail system, and the fed system, and the state system is three different entities. Nah, man. They sell these kids for disaster, all wrapped in gold, wrapped in diamonds and platinum and shit. And then they show the biggest losers, in some cases, to be the biggest winners. Nah, man, nah. I've been in the same house for 30-something years, man. The studio I'm sitting in right now is the same studio that Easy did his demos in. Okay, the same studio that Dr. Dre, that Easy threw Yella and Cube out of back in the '80s. Okay. I probably could have moved multiple times, but why? You know, it's it's what I do. It's part of my business. It's part of my legacy. I probably will someday, but not because I have to. You know, I saw a long time ago, man, that people buy into these fantasies that you can't sustain. You know, you say because you got a platinum record, you gotta have a big ass house and a big ass car. All right, that shit only gonna be platinum for a short period of time. No matter how big your record sales are, your royalties are gonna start to diminish at some point in time. No matter how big a record you have, your records will diminish. Your sales will diminish at some point in time. You shouldn't buy a big house until maybe your fourth or fifth platinum or multi-platinum record. You got a multi-platinum record out the box, you're gonna make some money on that, okay? But if you ain't got a good deal or a good lawyer or a good accountant, man, you'll be flossing on Prius one day and on TMZ the next. I'm like, oh man, I need to go fund me shit. Right. So, oh man, I understand the game. The game is a fantasy, Doc. It's a fantasy.
Yeah. You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied, brother. And if anybody knows, I know you know because you rode the wave. You didn't design the track for a lot of people. So I totally understand, man. I totally understand. For the young people that are aspiring and coming up, you've dropped nugget after nugget of wisdom this whole interview. Specifically, talking directly to those people that are aspiring in the industry. What are the last final words that you feel Lonzo Williams has the final word on?
Whatever you do in this game, man, don't be afraid to be a leader. Don't be afraid to do something different. Look, if you on the freeway in the 405 in California, you ain't going, or 5 o'clock, you ain't going nowhere fast. Right. But if you have your own lane, you can move as fast as possible. Understand that shit, man. Get your own lane. Get that lane. If that lane is clean, if right now it may be a clean cut artist that ain't cussing, that's talking about some other kind of stuff that will prepare you, because people are getting tired of the same bullshit. Everybody is duplicating the previously hot person talking the same basic shit: Hennessy, bitches, bullshit, and banging. Oh, come on, man. Give me something else to work with. Life is bigger than a bottle of Hennessy, a blunt, how much you smoking, how many niggas you rolling with, how many girls you knocking down. But see, again, that's what happens when you have young artists who haven't experienced a lot of life. They only talk about what they know immediately. Back in the day, the groups that made real history had songwriters that wrote the songs from life experiences, gave them to the youngsters, and the youngsters had the talent and the energy to perform those songs, deliver those songs in a way so they were able to have some longevity. A lot of these guys you see now, if you see them 2 years from now, I'd be surprised. The Temptations been around for 50 fucking years, man, because they had songwriters that gave them songs that were timeless. Yeah. Okay? Everybody's song, not everybody, a lot of songs right now are based on shit that's current today. Which means when this issue or this particular fad goes away, guess what? The song goes away too. The Gap Band made a song called Beeper Freak back in the 80s or 90s. You ain't never heard that shit no place else. It was hot for a while, but beepers died, and so did half the niggas don't even know what beepers are no more. Okay? People don't even know what a beeper is no more. So you got to be careful as you write your songs, man, as you do your material, and find something that's what they call evergreen. Evergreen is material that's going to stand the test of time. You know, turn off the lights, ain't going nowhere. That song is going to stand the test of time because it's a hot song. It's a great song, but it's a song that women can relate to. That's what Mary J. Blige ain't going to. Mary J. Blige makes songs about women issues that women dealing with cheating husbands, no good niggas, blah, 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 getting herself back together. She is the spokesperson for brokenhearted women. Okay, and that right there is a lane by herself, right? And she'll always be the queen of that lane. And Every time somebody get their heart broke, we gonna give some Mary J. Blige records and some wine, and we're gonna talk about this nigga right here. Okay? That's it, Doc.
I appreciate that. And it makes a ton of sense for sure. Oh, the last question, and the most important question out of all of them, and then I'd be more than grateful to give you the rest of your time back, because I know you're a very important person. How can people learn more about you? How can they patronize you? How can they check out all your docuseries and documentaries and all of the everything that you got going on? How can people learn more?
Man, you can hit me. You can check. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, everybody is subscribed to all the websites, the YouTube channels, the NWA Stories with Lonzo and Legendary Connects. On Instagram, Real Lonzo NWA. My website is lonzowilliams.com. I got merch on there. My book, NWA, Not Without Alonzo, is available on Amazon. I have an audio book available on Audible. So if you want to hear some of these stories, I have a custom audio book that's set to music. So if you like listening to audiobooks with a little something behind it, that's also available on my website. So yeah, everything is lonzowilliams.com, folks.
Listen, guys, play this interview back. Keep playing it back. I mean, there's just so many things to unpack, and it was real. And I mean, these are things that I know I've on my journey come across. So I totally understand exactly what he's saying. Look, Lonzo, I appreciate you so much for coming aboard and taking the opportunity to share your story. You're a legend. There's a lot of people look up to you, brother.
You're looking at. All right, Donnie. We out, folks. Peace.
Please peace out.
Donnie B.